Hello, high vibe humans, and welcome back to another Awakened and Empowered Women interview. Today we have Hannah Grimm on. She is a licensed massage therapist and yoga instructor. I'm very excited to invite her on here because we have been in association with each other since elementary school, like very beginning of our lives here. So she is someone that I've followed on social media, watched her grow, watched her blossom, and I'm excited to share her gifts and talents with you. My name is Brianna, also known as Breezy Spread Love on the internet, and I'm excited to help people on their health journey. And I felt that by introducing Hannah, you would help you with your yoga, with your massage, whatever you need. Hi!
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Amazing. I'm so happy that you could be here today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. So for the people tuning in who don't know you, why don't you go ahead, introduce yourself, and what you're about, who you are.
Yeah, hi, my name is Hannah. I am a massage therapist and a yoga instructor. I'm over here in Northville, Michigan. I do massage therapy here in my office, which is where I'm here now. And yeah, I've been doing that for about 12 years. I started right after high school. And then maybe 4 years later, I went into my teacher training for yoga. And I just never stopped. Well, I did during lockdown, and then I was ready to give it all up because it felt nice to kind of take the break. And then I saw a lot of people reaching out to me, and a lot of people were really struggling. And I thought, wow, this is something I probably should get back into. And I decided to start my own business around that time, which is really ironic because people were struggling financially too, and with their jobs and businesses. And it just worked out, took off. So I'm here. So,
Wow. So you do you have like your own brick and mortar that you're working out of?
so
Like
I'm
your own
here.
office?
Yes. So I'm renting space out of this office here in a yoga studio at the Northville Yoga Center. So
Oh, awesome. I
yeah,
love Northville. It's such a cute town.
it is. It's kind of reminds me of downtown Plymouth, which is okay. It's a little small, but it's nice. It is really nice. It's a nice demographic to have too for people who need to come in. But I get a lot of people from all over. It's
Mhm.
not just in Northville, which is kind of surprising and really nice too. So yeah.
They're attracted to you somehow, I guess.
Yeah, I guess when you send something out there, I think you kind of receive what you put out there, right? So yeah.
Well, let's get to know you a little bit. So, what are 5 words that you would choose to describe yourself?
Ooh, okay. Creative, um, dynamic, fluid, determined, and um, grounded.
Grounded.
Yeah.
Those are all great words. I'm curious about the dynamic and the fluid.
Yeah, it's sort of like a paradox almost because the dynamic is, I think when you become an entrepreneur, you kind of have to kind of develop that skill. And I think I sort of had kind of developed that really early on. And then being fluid is just kind of allowing things to kind of be and just kind of let it flow. And it's kind of nice to it sort of balances it out, at least in the entrepreneurial world. You may also know that, but yeah.
Yes, definitely. It is one of those skills that you need in order to really survive as an entrepreneur. Be going
Mhm.
with the flow, being able to adjust to all types of situations.
Maybe not even on a professional level, even on a personal level in all aspects of life, right? So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Perfect. So you said you kind of got into massage, right? Right out of high school.
Hmm.
And over time you got into yoga and started your teacher training. Who would you say was a mentor or like who is your favorite mentor?
It sounds so cliche, but I have so many. Personal ones, I have quite a bit, but as far as like, so I want to say back in 2016, I've kind of found myself struggling a lot, especially during like the election and all the things. And I came across this social worker called Brene Brown. Her name is Brene Brown, and I absolutely love her work. She really focuses on vulnerability and shame. which are like the two topics everybody wants to steer away from. And she really teaches, at least she's really taught me how to really lean in. And one of my favorite books by her was Braving the Wilderness. I don't know if you've read that, but that was
That sounds good.
really, you haven't?
No, it sounds
Okay,
good though.
it's fantastic. I felt like I was really struggling around that time, and it really opened my eyes, and it really helped center me to kind of figure out how I could navigate my life maybe a little bit more centered, because it was a kind of a crazy time, I think, for the world, but also for myself. So, and then another one would be Thich Nhat Hanh. He is a Vietnamese Buddhist monk. He actually just passed away, I want to say like 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I really like his view on things, and he was also an activist for the civil rights movement. And he did a lot of work with Martin Luther King. So he was also like, he's such a badass, but also so peaceful. And that was also, I really like that. I like how he kind of led in such a way that was so powerful, yet so peaceful, and with such fire and drive. And it's just something I really hope to aspire to be, or at least try to live my life that way. So yeah, those are my
So
top two.
you have like Renee Brown, who is helping you navigate these difficult situations, and then you have Thich Nhat Hanh,
Yeah.
who, who I've seen the name a bunch of times, but like he kind of represents who you want to become, like especially with that fiery passion for, it sounds like social justice even, as well as having that peacefulness of the Buddhist philosophy manifested in his body.
Yeah, exactly.
So that kind of gives us an idea of like what you're like, what's feeding your personality. Let's dive a little bit deeper. What would you say, would you mind sharing a difficult experience and how you might have dealt with it?
Oh my God, I have so many. They've not been easy. I want to say during shutdown, when COVID started, I moved back in with my parents, and I had just gone through a serious breakup, and it was just, I had, stopped massage therapy and yoga, and like, I literally was just starting from scratch. And it really taught me how to just kind of be alone with myself and to just find peace with it. I think a lot of people also struggled with that. I mean, as you saw, mental health really began to rise. Alcoholism, suicide rates started to increase, right? Because people just don't know how to be with themselves, right? So that really taught me how to really enjoy and to savor it, and to almost reset my intentions and what I really wanted out of life and for myself as a person. And ever since then, I just kind of just readjusted some things and just took things day by day, even if I was struggling, whether it was like with a family member or something else. It's just one of those things for me. When I do feel like I'm struggling, or I feel like I have to get things done, or I'm feeling really stressed out, at least for me, it's just to kind of take a deep breath and just to focus on what's in front of you. That was a huge lesson for me, was that kind of embracing the unknown. And because the unknown is scary, right? Like we've all go through it. We're even kind of going through it now, right? We're dealing with the invasion of the Ukraine. You don't know what's going to come out of it, how it's going to affect us, all of it. The world's on fire, right? So there's still a lot of uncertainty going on. So really, it's important to just kind of take things day by day and just to focus on what's in front of you, which I still come across times where I do feel really stressed out and I do feel overwhelmed. And just to kind of just focus on what's in front of you is just so important, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But as long as we focus on what's happening now, will just allow us to get to tomorrow, at least, or in the next hour or two, So.
I can see why you chose the word determined. I'm hearing you coming up against these difficult experiences, and really you're describing this openness to that unknown and your determination to persevere despite that unknowingness.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing because, like you said, a lot of us during 2020 experienced hardships and were uncertain of what to do with it. And I think that the very simple act of taking a breath, like you described, is one way, and then dealing with what you have right in front of you.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's still what we're all learning. I'm still learning, but I know that's a really nice tool to just to use, you know. So
Mhm. So, do you feel like these difficult experiences that you've had really help you with your clients?
absolutely. I think they're almost relatable because
Mhm.
it reminds me because when you're dealing with those struggles, I feel like it can be so self-isolating and you do feel like you're alone in it. And then when your clients share with you their struggles, I of course am not going to pour out my heart and tell them my life story, right? But I can listen, and I may not even be able to give advice because that's also out of my scope of practice. But you know, as I listen to my clients talk about their struggles, it's like, oh my God, like I'm not the only one. You know, we're all in this together. We're all working through this together. We're just, and that in a way gives me a lot of comfort knowing that we are kind of like connected in a way, whether it's within like the suffering or with the joy and all of the messes in between. It's just, we're not as alone as we think we are.
Beautifully said, and I love how you're able to hold space for your clients. Just the fact that you're there to listen to them, whether it's like when they're on the massage table or on the yoga mat, allowing them to express themselves, and it sounds like they feel safe in your presence. They feel that openness to express themselves.
Yeah, I think that's so important, especially now. I think I think that's the number one thing is as working as even in the work that I do, even outside of that, even on a personal level with my friends and family. It's, I think, just really what it comes down to is just people just want to be seen and heard, because we do live in such like an extroverted world, right? And just we're just always constantly going and moving and everything has to be so fast. But like you just take a pause and hold space for somebody. I think that's such a powerful thing to just allow them to just experience whatever's happening, and that could even be very transformative for someone.
Hmm. Um, just the fact that the acknowledgement that they've been heard, that
Mm.
they've been listened to, that not even, so it sounds like you're listening to their story without the intent of responding, but just with the intent to understand and digest what they have to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure with your profession too, do you also experience that?
Yes. Yeah. A lot of times it's creating the opportunity for someone to fully tell their story and know that they're not being judged.
Mm, exactly. Beautiful. Beautifully said.
Awesome. So let's dive into the next question here. And I'm wondering, what is your greatest fear and how do you mitigate that?
Ooh. Um, okay. I have a few. Some of them are so small and so like trivial, like it's so silly. But I think the big one for me, especially currently as we're dealing with like the climate crisis, for me, it's the idea of us destroying humanity and not even being aware of it, or even um, just destroying it. I think that to me is just so devastating, knowing that like we could prevent that if we knew, right? So for me, how I navigate through that is to just be as informed and to be as educated as possible, whether it's working through a lot of social issues, especially for me, it's environmental issues that we're dealing with, right? So whether it's like working through like a cleanup, like a pickup at a park or a national park, or doing whatever I can to do that or donate to reliable sources. That has been a really big one for me in the last years, to see how can I help, and that way I can go to bed at night knowing that I at least did something, and to just kind of allow things, if things happen, then things. I mean, I guess if it happened, I mean, we're all going to die. It's the world's going to end. This sounds very sad and very dark, but it is the truth, right? So, but yeah, I think knowing that I helped can give me some peace. I'm like one little drop of the ocean, right? So if I can at least be a small piece of that, I can find comfort and peace in that.
Yeah. So you're watching the devastation of the environment and how it affects humans socially and how, human society is actually suffering because of this pollution and discord that's happening. And one way that you self-soothe is by trying to do your part, whatever that part is, no matter how small it is. That way you can at least know that you can leave this earth knowing I tried my best.
Yeah, at least I know that I did whatever I could to help. That's good enough for me. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It's definitely, the flip side would be just like complaining about it and then not really doing anything about it.
That's one pet peeve of mine, and I think I used to be like that in my younger days, and now it's just like I just can't do that. Like serves no purpose, no purpose, and yeah, I think that's such a good point. But yeah, it serves no purpose. It's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, and I can definitely see how it relieves your anxiety to go and help clean up a park, which, by the way, I applaud you.
thank you,
Yeah,
thank you.
definitely. A lot of fears can hold us back, but I think like sometimes we always wonder like, well, what can I do about this fear? And I think that that's a great call to action is to actually go out and find a volunteer project or some sort of activity to really help mitigate that fear in some way. So you have your own business now and you're practicing out of Northville. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I definitely see myself really reaching out more to the community and expanding with my practice. So I probably will not be in Northville, but I will probably be. I totally see myself being in some sort of like a clinic or just this whole wellness place where I'm pretty much running like massage or acupuncture, Ayurveda, and counseling, where we can just get everything in just one building because I network with so many people and I'm always referring cards and like they're a little bit closer and a little bit more locally, so that's very helpful. But if I just had everybody in one building, that would be like a dream. So I can definitely see myself doing that in probably another 5 years. So yeah.
That's a beautiful dream, like a wellness center where like kind of like those medical buildings that we're all used to where the doctors are all in the same building.
Mm-hmm.
It's where it's like, oh, you just go up to floor 3 and you can get your acupuncture done. And then after that, come back down. We'll give you a massage,
Yeah.
help work out all of that stuff.
And what's beautiful is they're now integrating a lot of Western and Eastern modalities into clinics, which I'm like, so like, that's amazing. I thought I'd never see that. So, and a lot of insurance is being covered by acupuncture. The acupuncturists that I see, insurance is being covered for certain people. So I think we're heading that direction to where insurance and that would be more of a medical approach is to do more massage and more of the holistic aspect of things, which is about damn time. So
I agree. Preach. I remember 10 years ago when I first started telling people like, oh, I'm going to go into counseling psychology, but I'm going to focus on holistic health. They were like, okay. And then I did my internship at a counseling clinic where 3 out of the 6, so like half of the counselors were trained in the acupuncture just for the ear.
very
So I
cool.
thought that was really cool. And I liked like exactly what you said. Insurance is covering it now. They're even covering certain insurances cover massage as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great.
Super great. That's a beautiful vision for 5 years, and it's very, very realistic. It definitely could come true.
Yeah.
So as you're working towards this beautiful vision, what would you say is the key to your success?
So many, and I'm still learning because I think I really started this for almost a year. It hasn't even been a year yet, but I've learned so much. I think for me, I feel like you kind of just have to be on the same level with people. Even when you get into an argument or deal with a difficult situation, you really have to take your ego out, take that outside of the door. I mean, ego serves a purpose, right? Gets you kind of gives you that drive, but I feel like the reason why we kind of deal with, anyway, long story short, I feel like I'm kind of rambling, but basically a lot of it's just communication and just really setting your intention and like really also setting boundaries. I think that was a big one for me, especially like making my schedule, because when you're a business owner, and you probably know, the business, you don't own the business, the business owns you, right? So you're learning as you go, and it really takes a big chunk of your life. So a lot of it for me is like really setting boundaries, whether it's like taking screen, keeping yourself away from screen time, social media, the news and all that, and just really just focusing on what's in front of you, and not to really compare, because comparison is such the thief of joy. And I do catch myself sometimes. I'm human. I think we're all human. It's very natural of us to do that, right? So I think that once you kind of let that go a little bit more and just focus on yourself and the people that are a part of your journey, makes the world a difference. And I think having even mentors and the support does really lead you to more of a successful career and just life in general. So
It's very true. Like, it's also very refreshing to hear you say it out loud, that the key to success is having those boundaries and really being effective in communicating those boundaries and why those are in place. Like, it's definitely true. You need boundaries on your social media and your phone time, because that's part of the advertising aspect, but also just like those personal boundaries to make sure that you stay mentally healthy.
definitely. And with people, like you really, you have people that, yeah, maybe don't even know what they are. So you're like, can't do that, got to focus on myself. So, and I think I'm also learning that too. Like, it's not easy. I definitely, definitely had to learn a lot from that. Not the easy way either, but in time, step by step, day by day.
So we have some questions from the chat here. One of them is, why did you become a massage therapist?
It's a good question. So right after high school, or actually in high school, I decided to go into social work or psychology, and I had already registered to go to Schoolcraft College. So I was going to go the conventional way. I had everything ready. I'd been wanting to do this for years when I was in high school, and I just came across this catalog for massage therapy in Southfield, and I thought, wow, like that's way less schooling, that's way less, more student debt that I don't have to deal with. And I'm like, and that's such a different alternative. Like, that sounds awesome. So I just like, I got this tour of the school that I ended up attending in Southfield called Irene's Myomassage Institute. And I'm not even kidding you. The minute I pulled into the parking lot, I just knew it's where I needed to be. And then as I walked in, the feeling the pull was just even stronger and stronger. And I mean, I was never really that great in school anyway. I was just like kind of an average student. And then once I attended the certification program, I was like 4.0 student, like just was really passionate about it, and I just really excelled, and I just knew it was just what I was supposed to do. So yeah.
So it kind of sounds like you were divinely inspired to just try it out, see how it felt, and then you felt like this internal confirmation.
Yeah, it was like this calling, and it was like, all
Mhm.
right, like let's do it. Like, I guess I'll not register. I canceled. I got out of Schoolcraft and just went right into program like a few months later. I just hopped right in right after high school. So, and it was only a year program, so that was really nice. And I got an adult job after, so it was like I didn't have the college life like I wanted to. But I'm also really grateful for that, because I learned a lot of like adult things at a very young age, which is probably why maybe I'm doing so well as what I'm doing now, like in the workforce. So, but yeah,
Sure.
it was great. And I also went to college much later on in life, and I mean, it was fine, but I don't regret any of it. So
Yeah, your path was different, but it was unique and it worked for you.
yeah, exactly. Everyone's path is different, and I think if we kind of like steer away from the whole this conditioning of, oh my God, you have to go to college, get a 4 to 6 year degree, and you're going to be successful. Like, that's not always the way. And I'm very grateful that I had very supportive parents that were like, well, that's your path, and like, go for it. Like, they were so supportive. So it's nice to get the support too. So yeah, everybody's unique and beautiful, and everybody's path is different, and it's not always the same. So
Yeah, it sounds like you changed you shifted at the last moment, and it's really beautiful to hear that you had that support network
yeah,
in place that was like, yeah, do what you feel.
yeah, exactly.
So, before we say goodbye to the high vibe humans here, I want to thank you for uh, sharing your time with us and sharing your story with us. And was there any like last bit of advice that you want to leave the high vibe humans?
Oh, that's such a good question. I guess really I have so much, but so little time. I would have to say, just kind of just be you. It's so hard. Again, and I'm still learning too. That you know, it's so easy to get pulled in so many different directions, and it's just so important to again find the support and the love from your friends or your colleagues, and to just just to kind of come back to yourself, whether it is with yoga or a counseling or card readings and whatever it is. I think it's really important to really focus on learning how to kind of come back to yourself when things are really hard, because it's a really hard time right now for a lot of people. A lot of people are struggling, so I think that's important, and just to always just be yourself. Just I think that's important, and to again find the support. But I think that's it. I think that's all I've got. That's all I can think of. So, but thank you so much for having me. This was so nice. It was good to see you. I've been following your page forever. And I think the last time I saw you was like right after high school at like a comedy show. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
This is a long time ago. So, flashing 10 years forward, and here we are. So, thank you so much.
Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure to have you on here, and I love the advice that you are giving, the fact of like just be yourself. Like if you're putting too many expectations on yourself, or if you're trying to be someone and it feels like there's like a lot of resistance there, that's probably not who you really are, and that being yourself should feel easy.
It really should, and even engaging in relationships or project, right? Or even with work, if you do have the control over it, over a project or something, and you just don't feel like it's just not working for you, then don't do it. The pressure is just so pointless. So yeah, but yeah, thank you again. Thank
Yeah,
you
thank
so
you, Hannah.
much.
Thank you so much. It's been a joy to reconnect with you,
Yeah,
and I really feel that you've grown so much, and it's really great to see that. So thank you so much for sharing your story with everyone
thank you.
today.
Thank you, likewise, you too, and congratulations on the baby. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. Are you living, so you're not in Michigan anymore?
I
Where are
am in
you?
Michigan. Yeah, I'm in Waterford.
Okay, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So back in the Mitten State. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Because I knew you were gone for a minute because I tried connecting with you a while ago. So,
Yeah.
anyway, well, congratulations. I wish you a very smooth pregnancy, and I will hopefully see you. I will still see you on here. And thank you again.
Of course. All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Please, Hannah, would you mind plugging your social medias real quick, so in case people want to connect with you? Do you have a website? And you can shout out your place of business one more time.
Yeah, so I don't even think I told you the name of the business. So the name of the business is called Movement of Massage and Yoga, and it's not like spelled like meant like movement. It's spelled Movemeant. And the reason for that is because I believe that we're all meant to move. So um, yeah, so with like the yoga and the massage, we're all meant to move because it can be very healing for a lot of people, and even for myself. So, but yeah, I just attached everything. If you need me to attach more, let me know. But that's there for you right now.
Thank you. So that your website where they can like look at your services is Movement one.
Movement.one. Mm-hmm.
Movement that one.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Well, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for your questions and for your heart emojis. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.